World Sight Day 2021. Oxfordshire Association for the Blind.
Hello, my name is Mark Upton. I'm Chief Executive of Oxfordshire Association for the Blind, and I'm here with
Mary, and I live in Tame in Oxfordshire.
Brilliant. And so thank you so much for joining me, Mary. We're here to talk a bit about visual impairment, your life and your experience of visual impairment, and what support you've had over the years and your sort of journey. Would you mind telling us a little bit about your visual impairment?
I have myopia to quite a severe degree. There was a family history, so it was picked up very early, long before I went to school. And I spent my early years to my mid-teens attending the Portsmouth Eye Hospital. But and there was deterioration through that time, but then there's a tendency for it to settle down. So I was then discharged with very thick glasses, went off and carried on life.
Yeah.
I became a nurse and a midwife. Lucky for me, contact lenses became more popular, and so in my late teens, I started wearing contact lenses, which improves vision as well, more so than glasses, and looks so much better. So I was fine until my late 40s. Things were it's changing, and I thought it was my imagination at first, but then when you can't see the print, etc., eventually the optician sent me to the eye hospital in Oxford, and I realised they said you've got degenerative myopia. So things started to slide down. I had driven. I had to give that up.
Yes, that must have been quite an emotional time.
It is quite a big one, but I told myself that I was in my kind of mid-50s then. I thought if this was happening to you when you were 80, you would think it was kind of another, not to be shot this big, nail in the coffin sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, it would have a bigger devastating effect. But I thought I was young enough to adapt and get on with it.
Yeah.
I lived in a village near Brill with no public transport system, which was a bit of a problem, and kind of not many pavements and that. So in 2000 we moved to Tame, which was a very good move indeed. A nice small market town for anyone that doesn't know it.
Much better connected for you.
Oh
to the
yes,
outside,
yes, good
buses,
public,
train,
good public, train, access to trains, good taxi service, etc. And it's a very lively town, and it's still alive. Many small towns are dying, but Tame survives. So that was an excellent move. In the early 2000s, I had cataracts removed, but it didn't have much of an effect for me because of the deterioration in the back of the retina.
Okay.
Worth a go, but didn't actually achieve much, and it's slowly deteriorated since. I've got glaucoma in the mix as well. So on my certification it says degenerative myopia, glaucoma, and geographic macular atrophy.
Okay. Wow.
So it's been a gradual thing.
Yeah.
And you learn to adapt as you go along.
Yeah.
But along that path, I would say, although there's a gradual deterioration, there are stages, there's a step down. You know, you can almost cope, and then suddenly you can't cope with it anymore. So, in fact,
you've had to readapt in that time.
Yeah.
Each time you've had change, you've had to readapt.
In the last few months, there's been further deterioration. So, I've had the electronic magnifiers that I could kind of peer at and pick out some instructions and that. But that it's now not working for
Okay.
me. So
So we talked a bit, as I said, about adapting. What support have you had to help you adapt from organisations like OAB and other organisations along your journey? What support have you had?
I would have thought about early 2000. I was registered visually impaired,
Okay.
and with that, the notification goes through to sensory impairment team,
That's it.
and also to OAB.
OAB, yeah.
Yeah. And as a result of that, I was invited into OAB for a session
Yeah.
with a group of other people telling me what was available out there to assist, etc., which I found very informative and very helpful. Things like BT, 195 directory inquiries, and calibre books, etc., and things like that. And make you appreciate that you were here if required. And with all those things, they're little tools to help you on your journey.
Yeah, sometimes it is just the little things, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
There's lots of information out there, and sometimes you just pick it up just from talking to somebody.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that existed, and actually that's where meeting others can share and help. Because you go to a group as well, don't you, with other visually impaired people?
Yes, in time, yes.
Yeah. And do you find that is sort of helpful in your journey as well, to meet others?
It's always good because of the socialising and that. But I think it's, one gets a lot out of it.
Yes, good.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit about some of your hobbies, things you do in your spare time? What do you like to do?
Well, they've changed over the time.
Yes, of course.
Like giving up driving, that was a biggie. Cycling, bought a tandem, had a go with that.
Yeah.
Used to ride around in the back of the tandem with Roger. But that was, when you're, you've been doing tandem cycling. So having been a cyclist, you automatically kind of try to retain your balance. So if you're swerving one way, the automatic reaction is to try and bring it back, isn't it?
You've got to with tandem riding, you've got to let go of control a little bit, haven't you?
But it's also handy for the person in front to say, I'm just about to turn to the right. Because if they don't, there's
you get a shock.
And so Roger would end up in the nettles and I'd be sitting there saying, what's happening? What happened there? But no, it is a bit scary on the road. Don't do it now. In fact, for the last few years, it's been in the shed and we haven't done that so much. Used to go canoeing with the Falcon.
Oh, yeah, down the road.
Yeah, I understand you do it with some of your...
We do some events there with them,
They used to have a very good group on a Thursday evening. We used to go to. At that stage, I had a guide dog, and Ollie used to come with us too. And that was great fun. Had some great weekends out away doing canoeing and things. I must admit, I haven't done it recently.
No, it's a bit trickier now, isn't it?
It is. But actually, with Ollie was fine. The previous guide dog, but Piper is. I think we'd be in there with the ducks.
So can you tell me? We've obviously just mentioned your guide dog. You've got Piper here with you, your guide dog. What does a guide dog mean to you? What's the difference between?
Oh, it means so much because I said earlier about when you're gradually deteriorating, your sight's gradually going. There are steps where you suddenly think on it. I was suddenly aware that I was thinking twice about going out by myself.
Okay.
And bumping into people. I must admit, I was in a supermarket and I turned around on one occasion and I bumped into an elderly person who groaned in pain. And I apologised, which seemed rather pathetic. I walked straight back home, picked up the phone and rang the sensory impairment team and said, I need help. And so as a result of that, someone from OAB came along and I told them what I was looking for, etc. And they came out with the mobility training, and that's where I met Kate and Serena. and they came over, and that was another boost on confidence because Kate came out to give me white cane training, which I thought was brilliant. But the first time out, she said, "Have you ever thought of guide dog?" And she kind of set me off down that path. So once again, you kind of stumble down and think, "Oh, I'm not coping here," and they were there to help pick you up and get you off in the right direction again.
Certainly more than just a mobility aid, isn't it? A guide dog, it's a partnership, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
And a friend.
It is so much more. But as you lose your eyesight, your confidence is slowly clawed away. You shake it off and going along. But you reach that stage when you think, now I'm a danger to others as well as myself. So the white cane training was good, but a guide dog is in a league of its own. I appreciate it's not for everyone, but for me it's something that is fantastic and works really well.
So just to finish up, what advice would you give? You've been through the mill, you've been through the journey quite a bit, and experienced obviously deteriorating vision. What advice would you give to other visually impaired people who may be at that beginning, or they're just sort of been diagnosed with sight loss? What advice would you give?
I think it can be challenging, very frustrating and isolating. But the consolation is there is a lot of people that have walked down that path before, and there's a lot of organisations, etc., to help you through that journey. OAB helped me and continues to help me. The reassurance of knowing that you're at the other end of the telephone. Help! Can you help with this? And also the sensory impairment team gives one great reassurance.
Great. Mary, thank you so much for coming out and talking to us. It's been really good. Thank you.
No, thank you.